Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Trainman, and welcome back to TRS 2006. And compared to more recent intros, that was a little bit formal, and I think I know why. I'm not quite in a chatty mood, mostly because my sore throats. Wow. Mostly because my throat is sore. But secondly, because, again, this is one of those days that comes about where I don't have a lot of time. I don't know why I selected TRS to be on a Friday, because it's quite time consuming, and, well, Fridays are Fridays. Of course, the social life thing is it's something new to me. But what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna get some training done around here. Again, you're gonna watch me do all this because I don't have much time. You guys know that I normally set up things, and I go about it for honestly hours beforehand. I go and, normally I listen to a podcast or listen to music or something like that. If I had a second screen to watch a YouTube video or anything, but I don't have a second screen. But I normally do all my work and then I come back and show you guys. I mean, you could probably expect the personalities to start coming back at some point, but I don't know, it just got a little bit hectic. I did actually want to, develop the characters and stuff, but, I don't know, it's one of those things that you do for a while, and then you kind of cut it out. For a little bit, at least. Also, this is, well, ideally, this would be the first of 2 videos in a recording session, because, not for you guys, for me, for this recording session, because I've started a policy. If you watched my KSP video, I explained all about it. But I started a policy where I'm going to be making one video ahead, like I'm going to be making videos a week in advance now, so that if I miss a day, which has happened, or simply take a day off, I don't have to worry about missing a video, and you guys don't have to worry about me missing a video, if that's really what you worry about. If so, you should find some better worries. Also, I did this off camera, though. It took me about 5 minutes to get this how I kind of liked it. It's still a little bit awkward, but it's alright. But with this, we're going to be doing the stuff with, we're going to have hills that come down around here. Actually, let me mark out the first kind of piece. That's up at 70, just for the record. I do have my map out, my big map of the world, and what I'm doing with it is I'm actually just kind of making sure that everything I build here kind of goes along with what I've been thinking of for the terrain around this area. And the terrain around this area is kind of lighter hills, not mountains, but kind of hilly terrain that ascends to... I'm gonna have to redo these anyways afterwards. That's no good. That ascends to... 300, and there's a town up there, it's Lambit, and that's where we're gonna do, I believe it's the first of the production industries, all of the built-in ones, I mean. Because we haven't done much else with industries whatsoever. We have not a coal mine. Oh, well, we do have a coal mine. We have the coal mine in Sesquica, but that's not a big part. It's only for the 2-foot gauge and the 3-foot gauge that's there. I need to keep holding shift, because I keep doing that. We have a coal mine, we have a power plant, which normally are correlated, but these two are not. This is going to screw everything up. Nope, never mind. Everything went better than expected. Let's clean up our mess here. Looks kind of awful. I'm gonna get some paint and mark this out. It's not paint. Kinda wish I'd kept that red around now. And I just made a mess. The edge of the hills are gonna kinda be over here. That's the edge of the hills. It's gonna be this kind of sweeping divide, and of course we're gonna have the same plains texture that leads up to about here. So while we're here, I might as well do that, because it's just something simple that I can get done quite easily. So just paint. Ah, crap. Never turn my steam off. Always need to. There, is that better? Yeah, looks a little bit. I need to put on the, there we go. I need to ballast this area. So let's hop back over here, grab this. Again, I know I'm being a bit scatterbrained when I'm working on this. Of course, I'm like that with everything, nonetheless. But the fact that... Damn it, pups. The fact that I don't have time is influencing that considerably. So I've got to get this up and around here. I assume the platform will be invisible when we go into whatever the other mode is. You know what's kind of unfortunate? This would be an awfully nice long run if this ran straight up through Tamaros and all the way to Sisqueaka. But it doesn't. In fact, the only way to get to the other side of the map on the 3-foot narrow gauge is actually to go through Meest, which isn't even anywhere close to, and it isn't anywhere close to what we're building right now. In fact, if we wanted to go for it, like if we wanted to, say, alright, we're gonna start working towards Meest, so that we can run a train from, Galgora to whatever is over there. Galgora to Sisqueaka. Well, first of all, that presents its own problems, which I'll go over in just a second. But I'm going to ramble for a minute about what it would take to get Meest done. Now, if you realize, in order to retain a decent amount of continuity, we're doing things... things that are connected to other things, is what I'm trying to say. We're only doing things that already have segments attached to them of things that we're working on. You guys get what I mean, because we couldn't build Galgora until we had Tamaros to Galgora done, essentially. So, Meest... because both Meest and Archero, which is the one before it, are small towns, they'd be done in the same video, or the same video set. So we wouldn't be quite as far off as I originally thought we would be. However, the thinking. We'd have to do Tamaros to Arturo, which is going to be fairly simple. It's going to be a lot of mountainside we have to work on, and stuff like that. Quite simple stuff, we've done it before. We're going to have, we'd have Tamaros to Arturo, and then Arturo doesn't directly connect to anything that exists, so we wouldn't be building anything straight off Arturo. But then we'd be able to do Arturo to Myst. So we'd be 2 sets of videos from that. Now, if we wanted to run a train through Arturo, through Myst, sorry. From here to Sesquica. If we wanted a passenger train from here to Sesquica, because it's the only thing I can fathom that would be going that distance. First thing we'd have to do is get Arturo and Myst done. So that's 2 sets of videos. Then we'd have to do Lambit. So that's another set of videos. That's Galgora to Lambit. Then we'd have to do Lambit to Nikieri, which is a seaside town, which is quite a long distance, as a matter of fact. And then we'd have to do Nikieri to Hapston Cliffs. I'm going from memory right now. That might not be right. Nikieri to Hapston Cliffs. Hapston Cliffs either... since Hapston Cliffs was done, and Arturo and Myst were done, we'd not only have to connect... since we finished Hapston Cliffs, we'd automatically have to start working on Hapston Cliffs to Arturo and Hapston Cliffs to Myst. Arturo to Myst is also narrow gauge, but that would already be done. And then we'd have Myst to Modico, which is a big lumber yard. Then we'd have Myst to Caps Junction, and then Caps Junction to Sesquica. So if you wanted to go from here to Sesquica without ever setting foot on standard gauge, it's a long way. It's a long way to go. And I'm not going to repeat too much, but the Galgora to Lambit, which is a forest town, a town up in the hills in the forest. It's kind of what this road is aiming towards. Although not directly. Town in the hills in the forest, that's Lambit. And then after that is... Hold up. I'm thinking on this. Lambit to Nikieri, so that's coming outwards. That's going out west towards the coast until you hit the coast. On its big peninsula, its big rocky peninsula. What's funny is Nikieri and Lambit are actually at the same altitude. Lambit is way up here in the hills, but Nikieri is on 300-foot cliffs above the ocean, which doesn't have a name. Click, 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 click. So that's fairly level. That's a cliffside route. It's probably going to be a lot of fun to build. And no, it's not the one that contains the town of Index, in case you're wondering. Minecraftineer, I think that's her name. Index is going to be on the 2-foot gate. Let me just go over this for you right now. When I'm... Actually, you know what? No, I'll do it when I'm done with this. When I'm done with the current tangent. Alright, so from Nikieri, you'd leave your little coastal town. It's kind of adorable, quite frankly. You'd leave your coastal town, and you'd go up, like uphill. 200 more feet to Hapston Cliffs, which is in the middle of the mountain. The middle of the mountains, there's a enormous rocky peak nearby called Tudor's Mount. No particular reason for naming it that. It was just what came to mind. So Tudor's Mount's up there. And then from Hapston, either you'd go through Arturo to Meest, which is descending 300 feet on hairpin turns very, very quickly. That's kind of the old route before they bored Tudor's Tunnel, which comes out of the back, which goes through the back of Hapston Cliffs. It actually doesn't go under Tudor's Mount, despite the name of the tunnel. But it's a very long single-track tunnel that goes away from Tudor's Mount, and it comes out somewhere in the middle of this big mountain pass. You're descending again. Of course you're descending. And then you come to this enormous Y, which is doesn't actually have a name. There's a lake kind of nearby, and I might just alter the geography just a bit to put the Y next to the lake, because I think it would be a good spot for some scenic stuff, some small industries, like a little logging camp or something. Maybe a spur line for the 2-foot gauge, something like that. I don't know, but I'm thinking of altering that geography. So from Hapston Cliffs, you either take the crazy descent, which may or may not include switchbacks. Depends on what I can do to make the grade not nuts. I feel like an actual rail engineer when I'm doing this, because I've planned out these ridiculous routes for myself, and now I'm trying to figure out how they would actually be built without, killing everyone on the train. So we have Hapston Cliffs. Click, click, click. So you either go down the steep hills to Arturo, and then on a split pass, I guess is what you could call it, because it's a mountain pass that runs parallel to the one that the standard gauge uses, but isn't the same one. So, because the pass splits, the standard gauge took one pass, and the narrow gauge took the other. Just because it was easier, because of the way they were going, there was no reason to cross over the standard gauge to get to good land, and yeah. Working. So from Arturo, you'd either go through the split pass, and then you'd be at Meest, or you could take the long way around, which was through. It's the long way, but it's much more steady. It's the one the heavier trains use now. Passenger trains will sometimes take the quick way. But right now the route through Arturo is kind of used as a bypass, because Arturo is a pulp mill, so that means it does receive cargo from Lambit, but it doesn't. Those are the only regular trains that go down through Arturo. Unfortunately, there's no way to transfer cargo from the narrow gauge pulp mill onto the standard gauge main line there. So there are quite a few trains that run through the split pass that are mainly wood chips and general goods trains that run through the split pass and then go to the staging yard that's in Meest. And they transfer their cargo there. Alright, hold on, we gotta fix this up. Missed a spot. But if you're a passenger train, you're going the long way, just because it's safer. The passenger mandates, unless you are a chartered train that needs to get somewhere right now, you take the long way around. Also, the TVA the TVA Railroad, TVA is, well, they spent a lot of money on that tunnel. And they're trying to get their money's worth out of it, so they send every train they can through the tunnel. Hey, traffic. There wasn't any traffic before. Just patching up these roads for a second. Um, hmm. Alright, so where were we? We were at Meest. You've arrived at Meest, you've taken the long way around through Tudor's Tunnel, through the Great Y, as it's called. Not W-H-Y, W-Y-E. The Great Y. Why are we here? And then you've come down to Meest. Meest is at 300, it's kind of at the heart of the pass. The standard gauge does a very weird double back right after it. A very long and strange double back that probably could have been avoided by some other handy engineering, but they decided not to do a giant excavation and instead to use the mountain's semi-natural landscape, which basically indicated a S-curve about a mile wide. To lower 100 feet. It turns out to be very unusual, but that's just what they did. Hold on, I need to fill out. Actually, all of this area is the same kind of. It's this texture. I mean, as you get higher, you're gonna see a change from this to this, but this is on the plateaus. Either way, I need to fill this in and then I can start changing it over. So let's go grab that pasty paste. So again, you're at Meest, which could always have its name changed as well. Anyone that wants to name a town, submit something for Meest, because it's an awful name. Zanzib wasn't great either, that's why it's Galgora now. Remember, I will gladly take your suggestions, but only when I want them. And that sounds awful conceited. It sounds like something my choir teacher would say, no offense, little chance. Although, he wouldn't say it for the same reason I felt like I just did. He'd say that because he's sarcastic and a ballbuster. I said that because I just got stuck saying that. I don't know, I started the sentence and had to finish it. Never mind. Enough of my linguistics. Again, what I mean to say is, I will gladly take any sort of suggestions you have. Like, the index one was good. Of course, Galgora was fantastic. That name. I'm trying to think of the other stuff I've added that people have said. A lot of stuff people have suggested I've actually already had planned, which is kind of funny. Especially when people have said, put the big boy... Oh no, seriously?